All right.
Wait, hold on. Do you want to do the introduction? Or we can all. We're on. All right. Well, welcome to Kitsap County. We're in the tabulation room. This is where all of the magic happens for an election. We just conducted our recount last week, and we're here to certify the results of the hand recount. To get things started, though, I've got to be sworn in, and then I will hand it off to Regina McRae, elections manager, that will take us through the rest of these steps.
All right.
Commissioner Walters.
Commissioner Katie Walters, swearing in Paul Andrews. Paul, please repeat after me. I solemnly swear
I solemnly swear
that the official returns
that the official returns
and supporting documentation
and supporting documentation
of the mandatory recount
of the mandatory recount
of Commissioner of Public Lands
of Commissioner of Public Lands
from the August 6, 2024 primary
of the August 6, 2024 primary
in Kitsap County,
in Kitsap County,
State of Washington,
State of Washington,
are true and correct.
are true and correct.
And we'll have 6 of those to sign when we go.
I'm very tall.
Yeah, we'll have it set up.
There isn't.
Your mic's not on.
There.
Test. Now it's on.
All right, so here we go. Let's see, we're starting out with precinct 216. So in doing the recount, we came across, there's about 10 of them where the vote changed. So you're looking at the first one here. It's for precinct 216. So the vote was, and originally it was a vote for Alan Lebowitz, and it was actually an undervote. So, and if you look on the, I'll show you guys this. Where's the? Yeah. So I'm gonna show them this.
Do you have more of these?
I think we did. Do you know where the rest of these are for everyone?
Oh, I didn't do those.
Well, we'll just go through them and I'll show you. So in the voter intent manual from the state, it tells you what constitutes a undervote or write-in. And so on this ballot here,
You want to stand in the middle of it? That'd be easier. That's your illustrator.
get a little closer. Okay. So this is a row A for target area. And so, and it just shows you like that's just a stray mark in here. And so this person went through and did this, and the machine counted as a vote for that person, and it shouldn't have. It should have gone to a further step, a further review, where 2 people look at it, but that didn't happen in that. So more training going forward as far as anything like this. When you're first opening envelopes, it goes to further review, so 2 people can actually look at it and go, yeah, that's, you know, they have to make a determination. They didn't do that on this ballot, so it was counted as a vote for him.
And so would this have been picked up because it's in the box?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, what
And
about
would
that?
similarly for this one,
Right.
would it go
Yeah.
in the box?
Yeah, so they have to go through and do those, but this is the one that we're counting, so.
Yeah, and it has to do with the box, like had they drawn the line down, then it would have.
Trigger
Sure.
for all of
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
as an
Yeah.
overvote.
Yeah, we have quite a few of these, and so it's a +1 for an overvote and a -1 for Alan.
That's the net change.
That's the net
If we
change on
agree with,
Yeah.
I agree that should be an undervote.
Okay.
do we have to sign anything on that, or is it just?
I guess, well, let's just sign this, because you guys are all agreeing on that, and we keep all of this for our records on that. It's kind of different for me, I haven't done this side of it yet. So that was precinct 216, here's another one for precinct 255. So it's a +1 for him and a 1 for an undervote. Because sometimes the machine won't pick up their light marks, and so it didn't. So when we went through the recount, this is what we saw.
The inks that have a palette to them reflect, and the scanner doesn't. The scanner has problems reading some of the gels.
And so normally, what we would do is when we tell people if it's any kind of things like that, put it again to further review, and we can have the team, when they're scanning in, they need to actually look at those ballots to make sure those are counted correctly, and more training. Okay, this is precinct 451. So it's a +1 for undervote and a -1 for this candidate. And so,
Next.
because they, oh, sorry, down here. So they were correct, and that's what they voted for. Voted correct here. So my thinking is they were looking at it or feel that's it as clearly as they did on the rest of these votes.
And that rule was called a hesitation mark.
Yeah. Obvious stray marks, hesitation marks.
And
Yes.
there are a series of correct
Yes,
votes
exactly.
in there. I agree with that.
Our next one is precinct 820, and this is Rule C, with 2 rows actually. Rule C, corrected votes, and a Rule E, examples of corrected votes. So, ballot says option 1, option 2, and so that's what they chose to do if they make a mistake. So that's what they chose.
So instead of
Okay.
being counted as an overvote, it was actually a vote for
For
deferral.
yeah. But he followed the instructions to the letter. It's just, yeah, does that make sense to you? We tell him if you make a mistake, draw a line and make your correction. And so he did exactly what our example did. Most people don't do that, they just mark it out, but he wanted us, yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. This one is a +1 for write-in and a -1 for undervote. And based on, we have all the rules. Rule H, write-in blank target if a name is written. And so because they wrote something in the write-in box, we have to count that as a write-in, even though it's none of the above, but that's what they chose. So it wasn't an undervote, it was actually a write-in. I have a couple more just like that, where they should have been a write-in and it was an undervote. On here they wrote none. And so, same situation. It's considered a write-in and not an undervote. And one more like that. So, I wrote a name in, so we have to count it as a vote.
Paris the cat.
Yeah. Oops, sorry.
We know who Paris the cat is.
I don't.
Alright. I'm sure there'll be a cartoon in there.
I don't know. And I have little kids, so I don't know. I haven't heard of that. So here's one, again, when you're going through, when you're opening up the batches, if you have anything that's not a perfect ballot, it goes to further review. Two people are supposed to look at it, but in this instance, this should have went to further review because it should have been duplicated, because you see all the wet marks in here. So for this one, it's not an overvote, it's a vote for this candidate here, as you can see. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly, so it's just water got wet some kind of way. It's all through the
Yeah,
ballot.
looks like it bled,
Mhm.
bled through.
Yeah, like it was wet somewhere in there. And so she would get the vote for that race, because it's clearly a vote for her. So there's that one. Okay, and here's our last one. So this ballot here, so when they're in there scanning the ballots for count, sometimes a machine will reject it because the barcode is, sometimes they're marking the barcode or something's wrong with the ballot, the machine can't read it, so they're supposed to put it in an envelope, and it comes back out here to be duplicated. And instead of doing that, what they did was they pulled the wrong ballot out to be duplicated. So one ballot was unable to scan, we call that a machine out stack. It was supposed to be duplicated so the machine could count it correctly. The wrong ballot was pulled out of the stack, so they unable to scan ballot from precinct 161 remained with the counted ballots in that batch despite never being tabulated. So there's one additional vote in precinct 161 that needs to be included in the recount results. And so this is the ballot that,
There's a mark down here, and so when it went through the scanner picked up this mark as part of it. That's what made it initially reject.
exactly.
And so this ballot didn't get pulled.
To be
When it
duplicated.
was rejected,
They pulled this ballot instead and duplicated this ballot. So there's a +1 for this one. So this one got counted twice because the first one went through and then they duplicated it. And then this one was never counted for.
So this one counted an extra for this
Correct.
candidate?
And we know it was duplicated because part of the process is there's a number that gets assigned to it, and it's initialed by the people that do the work. And so we have this, and we also have the image that went through the machine. So this is the ballot without any of the marks on it, and then this is the duplicated one, so we know.
Is this a training thing though? Because
Oh, yeah.
this one was
Yep.
marked.
Yes.
Shouldn't the people know, like if they're seen as a duplicate, that there was
No,
nothing else
no,
on it
so-
for a reason to do that, or?
This was in a bag,
Oh, okay.
so it got counted. Originally, they were supposed to pull this ballot, they pulled this one and put it in the bag.
But because it's signed.
No, this wasn't on there at the time, when it was pulled and put in the bag.
Right, oh, okay, but it went through for, so it gets signed because it was duplicated.
Because it was good. Yeah. And this one was never signed, it should have.
That
had
should have
numbers
been,
and everything
okay.
on it.
I just didn't know, like, if when it gets gone through to be a duplicate, is there any double check to see like why it would have been duplicated?
There's a double check in that, it goes to
Another team.
another team to review the marks, but not as to why it was rejected. The rejection happens when it's initially scanned. There is now another step that we've thrown in because we recognize this was a human error. So we now will print the screen that shows the rejected ballot and the
Okay.
information.
Okay.
And then they will have to correspond to the number that's written here.
That's great, that's what I was just
And
wondering, because it
the
seems like,
person who pulls it will print that and
and then
initial
they'll have
it.
a double check.
That'll paperclip to it in the bag, and then the duplication team, when they take it out to duplicate it, will look and verify that the screen that said this ballot needed to be duplicated will match this number before they duplicate it.
Okay, that's great, so this
Yeah,
shouldn't happen again.
once we figured out
Yeah.
what happened, we figured out how to
Yeah.
fix it, recognizing it was a human error, those are the easy ones to fix because
Yeah.
we can add a step
Okay,
into it.
great.
But yes, that we looked for this ballot for a
Yes.
while, trying to figure out what it counted,
happened,
and
yeah.
it has to be here. And then we realized what happened, and then we
So,
found
yeah.
it very quickly.
So,
So I
yeah,
think we
it's-
just
So
we
the
brought.
So the net change for precinct 146 is -1
because it got
for
counted
that
twice.
band
And
wedge
then
and plus.
this
Okay.
one plus one
Okay.
Yeah, and then plus one
to that one. And so I'll have you guys sign.
but we wanted to show the original ballot
Yes.
being scanned and then being duplicated, so we
Yeah.
could show this step in here so that it made more sense.
Yeah, thank you.
And so I'll have you guys sign both of those. And so, yeah, so it's a training process. We had a lot of new workers in because we're gearing up for November. And so it's just going to take some training and to get them to understand that. So, yeah. Okay, and so I gave you the report of what the totals were.
So for the purpose of filming and the people that are observing, you want to just summarize the changes at the bottom of this sheet here, so that
Yes. I have another sheet. So the changes, so Leibovitz is a plus one.
and that's a +1 from the original machine count.
Yes, all of these are changes from the original. Herrera Butler +1. Van de Weege is -1. Write-ins, we had +3. We had 2 less undervotes and 2 overvotes and 2 less undervotes on this race. And so we've accounted for all the ballots. They've all been adjudicated, looked at, counted correctly, and so that's the total. And then this here shows you what the difference is
Oh,
between the original and the recount.
okay.
So if that's it, any questions anyone has? If not, we can recertify this selection again. So there's 6 there because I have to send one to each one of the districts that was in the primary. They get a new certificate. So there's 6 of them there.
I need to sign.
Both sets, top
Both,
and
yeah,
bottom.
yeah. She's so careful with her signature.
I know.
And you're like,
Little change.
A lot of stuff I've changed to KT.
You're in a different building where you have to go out to the.
You have to book more time in your.
Sweet.
12 more minutes.
sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, so have any questions, we can join this meeting.
All right, and then all of this gets sealed up now in our recount box, and
We're done, good to go. Thank you.
Thank you again.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for
Thank you.
giving us some time in your day.